The Muse and Mosquitoes. My legs throb with soreness I didn't know was possible, and I'm now sporting 9 mosquito bites, a fact I counted during a sleepless night under a scratchy quilt in a cabin with inadequate air conditioning. I should have questioned my sanity before agreeing to 2 weeks in the middle of nowhere with barely any modern amenities, aside from a working bathroom and an outlet to charge my phone, which has become more of a glorified notebook than anything else. And yet, despite the retreat, the journal remains as empty as my mind, plagued by a month-and-a-half-long writer's block. In retrospect, I should have known this would be a disaster. Talia called it a writing retreat, which in hindsight was just a euphemism for a vacation, knowing full well I'd never have agreed to join her if she had called it that. "It's not far now," she chirps, effortlessly batting a branch aside. I follow her path, grumbling as pine needles graze my face. There isn't a bead of sweat on her flawless, sun-kissed neck, not a strand of hair out of place in her perfectly styled blonde ponytail. I admire and almost resent her for how easily she does everything, from writing award-winning sci-fi shorts to hiking through the wilderness, as if she was born to do it. But Talia isn't someone you can really hate. She's a force of nature, vibrant, social, and infectiously confident. She befriended me in Creative Short Fiction 101, insisting we'd be best friends, despite the fact that we couldn't be more different. Maybe I was her designated quiet friend she could tell stories to, about all the wild parties and concerts she knew I'd never attend. Talia is the kind of writer who seems to thrive on adventure, like one of those 20th century literary eccentrics who hosted lavish parties and lived in exotic locales, generating stories both on paper and off. People would buy her memoirs in a heartbeat. Me? No one wants to read the thoughts of someone content to sip tea in a cozy bubble, who got through high school and college without ever stepping foot at a party, let alone accomplishing anything worth writing about. You can't compare yourself to her, I mutter to myself as I trudge along the trail. But it's hard not to. Talia probably has 50 new story ideas swirling in her head since we started this hike. It must be easy when you're Talia. Can we take a break? Like a protein bar break or something. I huff, feeling my feet grow heavy on the dirt path. She laughs, sitting down on a fallen log. "You can't eat right before swimming, silly. Here, drink some water." As I sip the water, I try to force my brain into finding something, anything worth writing about. Trees as metaphors? The roots bound to the earth while the branches stretch to the sky? It could be something poetic, but my mind refuses to make the connection. I've been trying everything on my anti-writer's block agenda. Staring at the stars, attempting to describe their brilliance, partaking in bonfires, even the annoying arts and crafts Talia dragged me into. Nothing. Not even the spider in the cabin's hallway, meticulously spinning its web, sparked anything in me, except worry about whether or not it's venomous. Ugh. I groan internally, giving myself an imaginary needs improvement mark in red ink. No creative gold star for me. Meanwhile, Talia is typing furiously into her phone. She isn't checking directions. She's memorized the trail. Knowing her, she's probably written half a new story by now. We resume hiking, and after another agonizing half hour, we reach the lake. My stomach churns as I eye the cliff we're supposed to jump off. Talia reassures me for the 100th time that it's safe. The lifeguard, the statistics, none of it calms me. "It'll be fun," she insists, stripping down to her fuchsia swimsuit. I follow, though with less enthusiasm. "You'll be glad you did this," she adds, tapping into the well of my desperation for inspiration. I hate how well she knows me. I step to the ledge, my heart racing. This is probably the dumbest thing I've ever done. I close my eyes, spreading my arms, imagining what it would feel like to fly, like a fledgling on the cusp of taking its first leap. But then the sound of something honking in the distance snaps me out of my zen moment. A horrible noise like a bicycle horn mashed into a kazoo blares from above. I open my eyes, half dreading what I'll see. Geese. Damn geese. Yet, as I stare at the ridiculous birds, something clicks. Feathery harbingers of doom. Wait, that's not terrible. Maybe not the most profound metaphor ever, but why should ravens and vultures get all the morbid symbolism? Geese could totally be the messengers of chaos in a story. You go ahead, I tell Talia, stepping back from the edge. I've got something to write down. Told you this retreat would help. She calls over her shoulder as she leaps off the cliff without hesitation. I shake my head, pulling out my phone to jot down the phrase. Maybe Talia did plan this whole thing, knowing that hunger, sleep deprivation, and frustration would eventually lead me to an idea. After weeks of struggling and forcing myself to find meaning, what finally broke my writer's block? Those damn geese.